Hi there. So it's quiet in my house this evening, and I have a list of videos that I've been wanting to make. So I just figured that I would keep going while I have energy and while it's quiet and I can do this. So this is my second video of the evening, and this video is based on a comment that came up today on Facebook. One of my sorority sisters had a memory that came up and she shared it, and the memory was from this day in 2010, which was the first time that I brought the message at church. And she basically was quoting something that I said, which was, God is not the nice guy that you just go to when you need something. And she wrote as a comment, this is still true. And the thing about the word of God and the thing about God is that he's never, ever changing. And so what he said 5, 6 years ago is still true today. He's the same God yesterday, today, and forevermore. And so I just wanted to take that truth and sort of expand on it and hope that it blesses someone today in 2016. So what I meant was that by that statement was, I don't know if any of you have had this experience, but I know when I was single, there would often be a really nice guy who you know has feelings for you and you know wants more, but you just aren't feeling him in that way. But he's so nice and he checks off so many boxes, except that there's just not this thing. Either he's not exciting enough, or he's not popular enough, or physically you're not attracted to him, and so for whatever reason he gets put into the friend category. But he is very faithful, and so he's the one who, if your car breaks down, he'll be there. I had a friend like this in my life, and it was like, once I had a mouse in my apartment, and he's the one that I called, and he came and found it and disposed of it and everything. Just always there when you need them, but you only call them when you need them. And at that time when I was preparing for that sermon, I remember just thinking that many times we put God in that category. And so God, we know that he's going to be there. We know that he's there. And so, but we don't really want to give everything over to him. He's not really what we want. We know that he's cool, he checks all the boxes, but we feel that if I really get into this relationship with God, I'm either not going to get what I want, what I really want, because, what I want, God may not know. He might give me something corny. And it's the same thing. Well, I'm not going to get into a relationship with this guy because, there's someone else that I have my eye on, and this guy is kind of corny. And so we relegate God to this place of only being there or only calling on him when we need him. And our Christian walk, our relationship with God never really has any depth, because we're only calling on him when we've run out of our own options. And so, you're with this guy and he's so exciting, and you know that he probably isn't God's will for you. But you're like, yeah, I know, and you continue. And then when you find out that he has been cheating, or when he's not calling you or whatever, then you go to God. And that's how it is, right? With that guy, it's like you be with the guy that you really want, the one who, sends shivers down your spine and excites you. But then when you guys break up, or when you're mad at him, he's like, who can I call? Yeah, let me call so and so. And you know that he'll take you out, he'll treat you right, he'll, comfort you, whatever. The danger of this with a relationship with God, like I said, is that there's no depth. But the other thing that we need to realize and learn is that God is not corny. God is not, the way that you see him when you have those reservations is because you don't know him. If you knew God, you would know that he is the creator of all, that he is all powerful, that anything was made that was made was inspired by him. And so God knows you. He created you. He knit you together in your mother's womb. He has a plan for you. He knows your passions. He knows the things that excite you. He knows the best gifts and the best calling for the gifts that he has given you. And so we don't know that. And we continue to choose what the world deems acceptable. And we continue to go with what we feel because we're being led by our flesh and by our sight and not by the word of God. So how do we get God out of the friend zone? Well, you have to spend time with him. You have to really get to know him. And when you do, you will realize that nobody can love you the way he does. And that he will bless you in ways that will blow your mind. The goals that you have, the dreams that you have, put them in God's hands and watch what he does. I guarantee it will be more than you can ask or think. I don't want us to go through life and keep chasing things based on our feelings, based on what advice we get, and based on what the world thinks. Today in service, we talked about Romans 12:2, where it says to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, to no longer conform to the pattern of this world. And so many of us as women are tired. We've been doing the same thing over and over again, dating the same guy, but maybe with a different name, a different car, a different haircut, but it's the same guy. At the end, it's the same outcome. Running after the same dreams, looking in the mirror, and regardless of how much weight we lose, how expensive our clothes are, whatever, what different things we do to ourselves, you still have the same discontent with the woman that you see in the mirror. Only God can break that, but you have to trust that he knows exactly what you need. And regardless of how it may look to the world, being on his arm is the safest place in the world. It's the most beautiful place in the world. And that is what is going to get you results and true joy and happiness. So I just wanted to share that and ask all of us to reflect on if we have God in the friend zone. Do we have him as just someone who we call on when things are at the point that we can't deal? Or are we seeking him every day? Are we trusting him with everything? Are we giving him everything? And once we give him everything, are we leaving everything in his hands? Or are we going back and snatching it back up when things start to look good again? So you give that relationship to him until somebody calls you again, or they send you a text that says all of these amazing things that you've wanted to hear. And then you say, God, I'm going to take that back. I'll see you next week. No. Are we giving everything over to him and really being in a relationship, a full-on committed relationship where you are claiming God as the lover of your soul? So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. And I love you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.